Hi there, this is Jen, and thank you for joining me on the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel today. I am super excited to be sharing the new release, and this is the Shaker Strawberry die set that is part of the January release, and it is a super cute set. You've got lots of different dies to make lots of strawberries. I'm going to be using the smaller strawberry dies today, and then later I will be using that bigger strawberry for a shaker. So the shop has a new product, and that is the shaker mixes. I'm not going to use these today. I'm not making a shaker card, but I wanted to show the two mixes that I have. There's actually 3 that are available, and these are just super adorable. I love the color combinations and the little pieces, just really pretty. And so those are 2 of the 3 shaker mixes that are new in the shop. And I'm going to be using the 4 small strawberries and the chocolate dripping off of them. So I've gone ahead and I've cut all of my pieces. The back piece of the strawberry is a solid piece, and I've cut that out of black cardstock. And then the detail piece cuts out all of those little seeds. And so I've gone ahead and cut everything else out of white cardstock. So I'm going to be using my inks to blend some colors onto all of the pieces. And so I'm starting out with some Catherine Pooler inks, and this is Samba. And then I will go in with Rockin' Red. And when I was coloring these, I was kind of thinking of the strawberries that I usually buy at the grocery store. And those are usually a little bit white on the top. I don't know if that means that they're not totally ripe, but they're a little lighter on the top than they are on the bottom. So that's what I was thinking of when I was coloring these. And so I'll go ahead and take both of those inks and color those up. And then for the stems of the strawberries, I'm using some Lavinia inks in Pine and Olive. And I'm using my blending brush for this. I'll go ahead and just kind of push the brush against the edges to get the edges to darken up, and then I'll lighten it up in the middle. And I'm going to do the same for the chocolate for the strawberries. I am using some Distress Oxide for these, and I'm going to be using Vintage Photo and Ground Espresso. And I'm going to take the darker color, which is the Ground Espresso, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm kind of pushing the brush up against the edges to give that dark line of color around the outside. And then I'm going to take my small little blending tool and take that lighter color, which is the Vintage Photo, and color the inside of the chocolate pieces. But then I'll go back around with my blending brush again to darken up those edges to make it look like there's a little bit of a shadow. And then we're going to go ahead and assemble these. So I wasn't too concerned about getting glue exactly everywhere, mainly around the outside and a little bit on the inside, just to make sure that didn't lift up. So I'm going to go ahead and add my detailed strawberry piece to my solid black background. And then I will go ahead and I'm thinking about work, I guess. I'll go ahead and add the stems to the strawberry. So it's just those 2 pieces. And then each of the strawberries is going to have a little bit of chocolate, but I thought I'd go ahead and make one of them have some white chocolate on it. And so this one is a piece of glitter paper, and I'll go ahead and add this first. And depending on how much of the strawberry you want visible, you can either have a lot of overhang with those chocolate pieces or a little bit. And so I just, on most of them, have just a little piece of the top of the strawberry showing, but you can definitely move that down a little bit if you want more of the strawberry to show. And then there is the drizzle of the chocolate. And so I went ahead and added that, and that's a piece of glitter paper as well. And then I'll go ahead and assemble the rest of the strawberries. This one is super cute because it's got a little like tuxedo vest, and so this is glitter paper as well. And then the insert is like a little bow tie and 2 buttons. When I cut this out, I managed to keep the bow tie and one of the buttons, and I ended up losing the other little tiny button. And so what I ended up doing when I finished this card off was just adding some black stickles which worked perfectly. So these are the finished strawberries. We'll go ahead and set those aside and get started on the card base. And so for this panel, I created a template, and I basically took a 4¼ by 5½, a piece of cardstock, and split it in half, and then just measured side to side and kind of eyeballed a little bit to get the circles fairly uniformly even. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that die and slip it behind each circle so that I get my placement as evenly as possible. And the die is 1 3/4, which fits really nicely on this panel. So it fits pretty evenly. And so I'll go ahead and finish that off till I have all of my circles created. And then I'm going to add a pattern to the panel. And so I have this herringbone stamp, and I'm going to do a little bit of heat embossing. So I'm going to take my anti-static bag and cover my panel with that. And then I will use some Versamark ink and ink up that stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and flip that paper over onto that wet ink. And then I'm going to take another paper and just put it behind so that I can add some pressure using this little hockey puck tool to get that ink to transfer over onto the paper. And then we're going to heat emboss it. So I'm going to grab some white embossing powder and cover the panel, and then I will take my heat tool and go ahead and melt that. And then I took another piece of white cardstock that's 4¼ by 5½. I did a little bit of heat embossing on that panel as well, using the same stamp. And then I trimmed it a little bit smaller, probably about 1/8 inch around all sides to fit nicely behind the circle panel. Added a little bit of foam behind the circle panel so it pops up away from the background. And then I'm going to add the strawberry. So I started out wanting them to kind of hang outside of the circle, and then decided that I just wanted them inside of the circle. And so I went ahead and added a little bit of foam behind all of the strawberries, and then we're going to add the sentiment. The sentiment says "Berry Much." This sentiment is in this die set from Pixi Dust. And then I took a paper sentiment from my stash that says "I love you," added a little bit of foam to the back of that, and adhered that. And then to finish the card off, I added a few white enamel dots, and that will do it for this card. There is lots of inspiration coming your way using this die set, so I hope you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so that you can see all of the design team's projects that are upcoming. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time.